What if I told you the most magnificent empire ever built never existed in your textbooks? An empire so advanced, so beautiful, that its very existence challenges everything we've been taught about human history. This is the story of Tartaria. For centuries, maps showed a vast empire called Tartaria, stretching across continents. Cities with impossible architecture, technology that defied the timeline, and a civilization that seemed to master energy in ways we're only rediscovering today. But then something happened. The maps changed, the history books were rewritten, and an entire empire simply vanished from our collective memory. Why would such an advanced civilization be erased? What were they trying to hide? The evidence is still there. The clues are hiding in plain sight, scattered across time and continents. They whisper from the pages of forgotten history, captured in old photographs that defy the official narrative. We see grand structures, their lower floors inexplicably swallowed by the earth, hinting at a cataclysmic event the history books conveniently forgot to mention. These aren't just quaint historical oddities, they are pieces of a puzzle, silent witnesses to a world that was buried, both literally and figuratively. They stand in architectural marvels that simply don't fit our accepted timeline. Consider the great cathedrals, supposedly built by medieval men with hammers and chisels. We are told these took centuries to complete, yet their acoustic perfection and geometric precision suggest a mastery of physics and sound that we are only now beginning to rediscover. Were these merely places of worship, or were they sophisticated instruments of resonance, designed to harness the very frequencies of the earth? The anomalies continue in technologies that seem impossible for their supposed era. We find patents for wireless energy transmission, accounts of atmospheric power generation, and designs for intricate machines that predate the Industrial Revolution by centuries. This wasn't a slow, linear progression of knowledge. It was an inheritance, a legacy of a highly advanced civilization whose technological prowess was deliberately erased from our collective memory, dismissed as fantasy or pseudoscience. This isn't just about one lost empire named Tartaria. That name is but a placeholder for a global, unified civilization that the controllers of our current age have worked so hard to expunge. This is about a fundamental re-evaluation of our past, about understanding that what we've been taught is a carefully constructed fabrication. It's about recognizing that our entire history, the very timeline of human achievement, has been deliberately and systematically altered. The methods used to date our past are flawed, the artifacts are misinterpreted, and the narrative is controlled. Look at the architecture of this lost world. The magnificent domes, the soaring spires, the intricate metalwork we dismiss as mere decoration. These were not just aesthetic choices, they were functional components of a vast energy grid. Antennas disguised as finials, drawing power from the ether. These structures were precisely tuned to principles of resonance, sacred geometry, and the flow of water. The star forts, found on every continent, are a perfect example. Their designs aren't just for defense. They are massive energy circuits built on key ley lines, interacting with the planet's own electromagnetic field. Entire cities were conceived as musical instruments, not just as shelters from the elements. They were designed to create harmony, to heal, to elevate consciousness. These architectural echoes across disparate cultures and vast oceans suggest a shared global blueprint, a single source of knowledge. It's a frequency we can still feel, a hidden layer of reality waiting to be perceived. Our modern streets, our bustling cities, are quite literally built atop these older worlds. The evidence is in the uniform silt layers found globally, in the basement windows that open to solid earth, in the grand entrances that sit 10 to 20 feet below today's ground level. A great flood, a mud flood, reset the world. The official timelines simply don't align with the physical evidence buried right beneath our feet. You just have to look down. The city will talk to you if you're willing to listen to its story. And people everywhere are waking up. They are seeing the patterns in their own hometowns, connecting the dots that the establishment has tried so hard to keep separate. This isn't speculation anymore. The evidence, meticulously researched, mapped and dated, is now within your reach. It's a key, and once you use it to unlock the door, once you truly see the world as it was, you can't unsee it. The veil lifts. What was hidden for centuries begins to reveal itself, not just in old books, but in the very streets you walk every day. The truth is not lost. It was only buried. They call it the mud flood. But this was no ordinary storm, no simple act of nature. This was a reset, a deliberate, cataclysmic event that buried a civilization and its memory under a thick blanket of earth. Look closely at the old photographs, the illustrations from a time just before our own. You'll see it everywhere. Grand ornate buildings, their lower levels swallowed by the ground. What we now call basements were once ground floors, their grand entrances and towering windows choked with dirt. Overnight, the landscape of our world was redrawn. Entire cityscapes, from San Francisco to St. Petersburg, sank into a sea of fine silt. The survivors, or perhaps the inheritors, simply built on top, paving over a past they were told to forget. With the cities buried, the histories were rewritten. The magnificent structures left behind were attributed to our own recent ancestors, pioneers who supposedly built these architectural marvels with horse and cart in a matter of years. The official narrative became a story of progress, a linear march from primitive to modern, conveniently ignoring the impossible feats of engineering that stood half buried beneath their feet. But the truth has a way of resurfacing. Modern excavations, often accidental, reveal doors that open to nowhere and streets a full level below our own. These aren't just cellars, they are the ghosts of a former world, a silent testament to the scale of the burial. The geological record itself tells a strange story. The layers of earth don't follow the slow, orderly deposit of time. Instead, the strata are stacked like pages torn from a book and hastily reordered, with a thick, uniform layer of mud separating our world from the one that came before. And then, after the reset, the bells went silent, and the very tuning of our world changed. The old architecture wasn't just for shelter, it was technology. Cathedrals, temples, and state buildings were harmonic resonators, their spires acting as antennas, their bell towers broadcasting a specific, life-affirming frequency. What were these buildings tuned to, and why stop the song? Was it a frequency that promoted health, clarity, and connection to the ether? The silence that followed wasn't just an absence of sound. It was the unplugging of a global network. Resonance, water, geometry, this was a language of power and harmony. The star forts that dot our planet weren't just for defense. They were nodes in a planetary grid, channeling telluric currents and atmospheric energy. This was a civilization that understood the fundamental physics of creation. Look into the forgotten archives, the personal diaries of the 19th century. Witnesses wrote of skies filled with strange lights, of storms that rained mud, and of profound changes no one could explain. Their accounts were dismissed as folklore, but they are the fragmented memories of the Great Reset. Compare timelines and headlines. The official stories are riddled with contradictions. Orphan trains appearing from nowhere, world's fairs showcasing technology far beyond their time, entire populations vanishing. The gaps appear, and in those gaps, a different story takes shape. The key is to stop accepting the story you've been given and start asking better questions. The world itself will answer. The architecture, the buried streets, the impossible timelines, they are all waiting for you to notice. You are the rememberer now. You are the detective piecing together the crime scene of history. This knowledge wasn't meant for you, but it has found you for a reason. The world that was lost was one of abundance, free energy, drawn from the ether, decentralized power, held within communities. A world that works for all, not just a select few. This is the promise hidden in the ruins. The systems of control we live under today are built on a lie. Scarcity models need our ignorance to survive. They require us to believe we are limited, powerless, and disconnected from our true history and potential. Silence the story, and you control the present. Erase the memory of a world of abundance, and you can sell a world of lack. This is the great deception. But you don't have to buy it. Think freely, test the claims, and most importantly, go see with your own eyes. Visit the old parts of your city. Look for the buried windows, the mismatched foundations, the impossible architecture. Your inner compass knows the tune. When you stand before these magnificent structures, you feel it. A sense of awe, of recognition, a feeling that you are looking at something far older and more profound than you've been told. When enough people remember, the grid reconnects. Not the grid of control, but the grid of consciousness, the harmonic network that the old world was built upon. Every person who awakens to this truth adds another node of light. The truth is carved in stone in places they forgot to hide. It's in the geometry of a cathedral rose window, the placement of a star fort, and the buried doorway beneath your feet. They rewrote the books, but they couldn't demolish the world. It's time to learn to read it again. Are you ready to question the version of history you've been handed? To look past the fabricated narratives and see the world with new eyes? If you're ready to uncover the profound and deliberately hidden truth about Tartaria, the journey begins now. It's a path of discovery that challenges everything we thought we knew about our past, our cities, and ourselves. And if you're prepared to see the evidence for yourself, you are not alone. Millions are waking up to the inconsistencies, the architectural anomalies, the gaping holes in the official story. They feel an intuitive pull towards a grander, more beautiful past that has been systematically erased from our collective memory. To begin, you must learn to recognize the signs. Follow the clues. The impossible geometry of star forts, those magnificent structures found on every continent, supposedly built for cannon warfare, yet perfectly aligned with cosmic energies. Investigate the grand spectacle of the world fairs, temporary palaces of breathtaking beauty that appeared overnight and vanished just as quickly, leaving behind questions of their true purpose and origin. Listen for the lost frequencies of the great bells and unearth the secrets of the buried cities. These are not isolated curiosities, they are fragments of a forgotten timeline. Memory, mud, and the unwritten history are calling to you, whispering of a global cataclysm that buried a civilization far more advanced than our own. You don't have to piece it all together alone. There is a guide, a comprehensive chronicle containing over 480 pages of meticulously researched maps, stunning high-resolution images, and verifiable on-site proof that connects the dots. This isn't just another theory, it's a field guide to the hidden world around you. It has been reader-tested by a global community of truth-seekers, is shipped globally to your doorstep, and is also instantly downloadable so you can begin your investigation this very moment. Consider this book a key to the door they locked, a tool to reclaim the knowledge they tried so desperately to bury. This is not ancient history confined to dusty archives. It is tangible proof you can visit, streets you can walk, and bells you can still hear if you know how to listen. The evidence is embedded in the very fabric of our modern world, hiding in plain sight. Readers from all over the world say it changes how they see their own city. Suddenly, the old post office, the downtown library, the forgotten courthouse, they all take on a new meaning. You start to see the buried windows, the mismatched foundations, the advanced technology disguised as ornamentation. From the sun-drenched streets of the Caribbean to the ancient capitals of Europe, and across the plains of America to the far reaches of Asia, the pattern repeats. The same impossible architecture, the same evidence of a mud flood, the same cultural fingerprints of a unified global civilization. But understand, this is not just about uncovering history. It's about reclaiming our future. By understanding the principles of harmony, free energy, and advanced construction that Tartaria embodied, we find a blueprint for what comes next. This work is an act of remembrance, a tribute to a lost golden age, and an expression of profound love for those whose legacy was erased. It is our duty to remember them, and in doing so, to remember who we truly are. The next step is yours to take. Visit tartaria.com. Once there, you can explore the detailed chapters on the mud flood, the world fairs, the star forts, atmospheric energy, resonant frequencies, and so much more. Get instant access to the digital PDF to start your journey now, and order the beautiful hardcover edition, shipped worldwide, as a permanent fixture in your library of truth. You will join millions of people who are no longer satisfied with the answers they've been given, and are now asking better questions. This is your chance to reconnect with a lost heritage. Remember the frequency. Rebuild the map of our true world. Don't let history be written by the victors any longer. Visit tartariaempire.com to get the book that reveals it all. Ask yourself, what if the empire you were never taught is the key to the future you're meant to build? The answer is waiting.